Hi everyone, and welcome to my video today. I'm going to be doing a tutorial on using our Jamberry nail wraps for pedicures. And I'm going to be introducing you to maybe a new tip to you, maybe not, but at least showing you how to do it. Typically, our wraps, this is an adult size sheet. You use these two largest ones for your pedicure, finding which one fits your big toe best. And then you cut it in half, one for each big toe, and you take the next one and cut it into 8 pieces for your other 8 toes and trim it to the size and shape of each nail. Now, I have done this before, and although it does work great, it does take a little bit of extra time with all the trimming. So I found a new option that I learned, and it has saved me a ton of time, using our junior size. Now, these typically are made for children or for women with really small nails. Like as you can see up here, these ones are missing because I use them for a manicure and they all fit me. But the little ones I use for my little toes. It has saved me so much time. Now, typically we have the Mommy and Me sets, so you could even find the 2 wraps that match each other. And as you notice, these ones do match. However, this one is a Nail Art Studio wrap sheet that I had created to match this juniors because I liked it so much. So we don't offer this sheet, but that is a great option for you as well. You can always create your own wraps for whatever reason that may be. My reason was to match this sheet, which is called Wild West. Now, what I'm going to show you is that I already did my right foot, and my big toe is with the regular size. My little toes were with a junior size, and it was pretty quick. It took me about maybe 15 minutes. I could do it more, but I could do it quicker, but I was really trying to make sure that I did it a little better than I typically do. You know, with your toes, you don't have to be very perfect about it at all, because no one really gets that up close to your toes, except you guys are with mine, so I just wanted to make sure they looked right. So, to repeat this look on my left foot, this is what I'm going to do. Now, last night what I did was I took off, the other way I like to do my pedicures is I use a wrap for my big toe, and then I use nail polish for my little toes, and then I use our quick dry spray it, and you're pretty much good to go right away. So it's really just as quick as using the wraps as well. But sometimes I just like using our lacquers. So I removed that all last night, and I used our cuticle remover pen. This is one of the most important steps, is prep. Use a cuticle remover pen, you paint it on, let it sit for a couple minutes, find a metal cuticle pusher, push all of your cuticle back, clean it up, and then for overnight I put a bunch of our cuticle oil on. And so now what I need to do is use our alcohol prep and remove that cuticle oil so that the wraps will stick to my toes. Our wraps are vinyl, and the adhesive does not stick to skin. That's why you want to push back your cuticles. And it also, of course, will not stick to an oily base. So you want to make sure you use alcohol to clean it. And we have an amazing alcohol prep cleanser that you can use. I'm using one of our wipes that comes with our gel kit. I just really like those a lot. But you could always find some lint-free pads and then just use our alcohol prep cleanser on top of that. Excuse my finger. So I'm going to stick this back in the container, the package. I like to do that. And if you use a cotton ball or something, you can just put it in like a plastic bag, and then it keeps it from evaporating on you a little bit better. So you just want that to dry. Now I've noticed, if you've noticed, I also did not trim my toenails. And that's another tip. When you do your pedicures, and also when you do maybe children's toes or fingers, don't trim their nails first. And what you do is you trim their nail with the wrap, and it just makes for a much cleaner tip, because your toenails are a little bit harder to file than your fingernails are. So this is the tip that I like to do. Now for me, I usually use this sheet, or this size, for my big toes. And then I have this size left over. But what I'm going to do today is I'm just going to trim this one down to fit my big toe. And so what I'm going to do is just measure it, if you'll pardon me for a moment here. I'll move the camera so you can see. Oops. I'm so sorry. Okay, so just like any time, sometimes if you have a different shaped fingernail or toenail, you'll have to trim it anyway. But basically, you just kind of eyeball, you know, how much you need to trim off. And then I like to use our scissors, and I fold it back off of the plastic. Here you go, I'll go under like this. I fold it back off of the plastic and just trim like this, straight up. And it doesn't even have to be perfect because a lot of this is going to be getting trimmed off and thrown away anyway. And then on the other side. And when you roll this back, you want to be careful that you're not touching the wrap with your finger and getting those oils on your finger, or the oils from your fingers onto the wrap. And again, I'm not worried about it being perfect. Take that off and throw that away. Okay, now I'm going to check and see how it fits. And it's pretty perfect. So, you always want your wraps, fingers or toes, doesn't matter, to be a little bit smaller than your nail, because they will not stick to skin, like I said. So you want to make sure it's not touching your cuticle at all. So whenever you're ready, you just roll it up. You take something other than your finger, an orange stick, nail file, tweezers, something like that, and you take it off here. So what I like to do for my toes especially, but if you're new to Jamberry or you maybe have an unsteady hand, it's a really great tip to do this cold application. So you basically, I'm not heating it up yet because our nail wraps are heat and pressure activated. So I'm just holding it on my toe to pull that off, but I didn't stick it down all the way yet. So what I'm going to do is heat it up for just a few seconds. And when you're working with our nail wraps, you want to work from the center out, just the same as you would as if you were maybe putting up nail polish, wallpaper. So you just start up the center, and then you rub from the center out. Please forgive my cinematography. This is a new thing to me to do the videos, so I will get better. But for now, I'm sorry my video quality is not fantastic. Also, my manicure needs to be redone, so please don't judge that, because that's going to be my next video, is my manicure. Which I think I'm going to try to do a French tip with our gel kit, because I just got the white color in. So now that I've done that, I'm just going to do it again one more time quickly to make sure that I got everything out. And our purple cuticle pusher that comes in our application kit is great for this, because you can get it right down in next to your toe, next to your cuticle, and really get all the bubbles out really well. Now I'm not going to trim this yet. I like to do it what I call assembly line style, which is where I do each step for each toe, and then I go back and trim after that. So I'm going to set you back down for a second, and I'm going to get my next size for my toes. So what I like to do is the same as normal. You just match it up and try to find the one that fits. I already pretty much did that ahead of time, so it can save us a little bit of time. But this wrap is what I'm going to use for my next toe here. Sorry, I didn't do that very gently. Again, just tapping it a little bit to make sure it sticks, and then I'm going to heat it up. So the cold application is great when you're new, because if you haven't heated it up yet and you just barely touched it to your nail, you can reposition it. But once it's been heated up, you really can't do that and shouldn't do that. It'll leave the adhesive on your nail, and then it won't stick back in that spot, and it'll just kind of be a mess. So once you heat it up, it's kind of where it is, unless you want to take the wrap off, throw it away, and start with a different one, which I've done that as well. Everyone makes mistakes. So if you make a mistake, don't worry. If it's not fixable, just start over and try again. It's like everything else. If you fall off the horse, get back on. Remember, these don't have to be perfect. They're your toes. Most people are not going to be getting right up looking at your toes unless you're so proud of what you did, you want to show everybody. Or if you're videotaping it like me, you're showing everybody anyway. So my next one was this one. And again, I just peel it up off a little bit, stick it to this. I'll bring you down here. These nails look really scary when I haven't trimmed them yet. There we go. Just want to make sure I got the camera steady for you. Okay. Heat it up a little bit. And then I'm going to apply pressure from the center out to push out all my air bubbles. Now the important thing with your toenails is they're smaller than your thumb. So when you're pushing, you always want to make sure you start from the center, because when you push down, your whole thumb covers the whole toenail. And if there's a bubble in the middle, you've probably just trapped it in there. So just work it really slowly and carefully. Take your time. It's worth it because these are going to last you at least 4 weeks, if not 6. Toenails grow so much slower. And so we have a lot more use time out of them. So it's okay to take your time if you have it. And if you don't, it doesn't really matter if it's perfect. Which I know I keep repeating, but I just want you to know that perfection is not the goal. The goal is to take time for yourself and do something that you're proud of, and you know, feel excited that you did something for you. And you know, if you want to show it off, show it off. Show people what you did and say, hey, I took time for myself today. And you'll be able to show them for much longer. This will last you forever. I know this is a weird angle. Sorry. You know, when you get to the outside of your foot, a lot of times, well, with me anyway, I don't know if everyone's nails are like this, but my toe, especially my pinky toe, as you can see, it pretty much disappeared. So I'm going to have to do that one a little bit differently, because I won't be able to hold the phone with my hand for the camera, because I won't be able to see my toenail. So what I'll do is try to position you guys and myself in a way where you can see my pinky and see what I'm doing. So, yep, I've got to hold my pinky out like this to be able to do it. And so I'm going to pull this one off. Stick it on. Let me move my light over. Maybe that will help a little bit. There. Okay, just sticking it there to hold it. Now I'm going to heat it up. Now if you guys have any questions or anything, please feel free to leave them in the comments, and I'd be happy to get back to you with any questions that you have. I'm also going to post pictures on my Facebook page that's called Andrea's Jams and Jewels, just the same here, and also on my Instagram so that you can see the final product with both feet. And if you haven't gone over to those pages, I'll put the links at the bottom of in the comments here so that you can find both pages and like them, please, and follow me so that I can help you with any tips and tricks that you might need. If you're looking for any specific tips or tricks, please let me know, because I would love to help anybody fall in love with Jamberry like I have. Now what I'm doing here is I'm just trimming off the excess up to my nail, but I'm not trimming my nail. And this is the next step. So I applied all of them, and now we're trimming. Just easily cutting it right off. And then I'm going to go back to my toenail clippers and get a more precise cut. Now when you do these, you want to make sure that you're getting it, get a line, try to follow the line. So you don't just want to clip randomly, because you want it to come off nice and clean, like that. So I like to cut them really short, because then my pedicure really does last a long time, and my nails aren't so long that I want to cut them. So basically, you want to make sure you have sharp toenail clippers so that it can get through the vinyl and it can get through your toenail. That's just my toenail, so I can go ahead and pull that off. You don't ever want to pull the vinyl if it's still stuck. Use either like cuticle scissors or cuticle nippers or something like that. Because if you have a piece and you pull it, you can stretch the vinyl off of your nail, and then it will be lifted. You could have a real issue there. So, there, that wasn't stuck, just stuck to my skin. Alright, last one. Let's see if I can do this one up close. Oops. This is hard to do on camera, so I can't really do that. So I'm just going to do my best to show you. There we go. So I'm just trying to follow the line there, and if I can't do it, like I said, just get your cuticle scissors out and clip it that way. Corners are always the hardest, right? So maybe this will work a little bit better. There we go. Now, if you choose to file your nails, you can after this, but you don't necessarily have to. If you do, I recommend our glass nail file or something really skinny like this to be able to get in around there a little bit better. So if you want to file, you always file down. You never file across. You never file up. And because my nails were a little longer, I do have a little bit of skin there. I thoroughly apologize if that is kind of grossing you out. But I suppose if you're watching a video about a pedicure, you must not have too much of a yucky opinion of toes anyway. Hopefully my toes aren't grossing you out. When you're done, you can always apply some lotion as well if you have any dry skin. Oops, I got little pieces of the wrap there. I especially don't worry about my pinky toes because they end up curling around hidden anyway. But alright, let's see the final product here. So this foot, this foot, yeah, I gotta move my pinky toe out there. So there's my pedicure. Like I said, I'm going to post pictures on my Instagram at andreasjamsandjewels. The and is A-N-D, not the ampersand, or just the letter N. It's actually spelled out andreasjamsandjewels. And that goes for Facebook, Instagram, and of course, just like this account, my YouTube. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you taking the time. I hope you learned something. Please leave me comments as to what your opinions are, good or bad. I'm happy for all tips and ideas because I'm new to this, so whatever you have to help out would be wonderful. Thanks everybody, and have a great summer, and let's see your pretty toes. Bye!